Brethren lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. Welcome to the first video on Cossy's Arsenal podcast in 2023 in the new year. It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for the support in 2022. Over millions and millions of views there in 2022 on the podcast. I really can't, thank you enough. 2023 is going to be a different year. We want that play button from YouTube, but then we also want to be a very massive force in terms of creating Arsenal content. So hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, because if you want to be part of this family, that is all you've got to do. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Now, we have apparently agreed a deal with Mykhaylo Mudryk on a 5-year deal that we're going to be discussing. We're also going to be talking about Arsenal's second bid to Shakhtar that is coming in this week. We're going to be talking about Arsenal's offer, 60 million euros plus 15 million euros to make it 75 million euros. We'll be talking about what Shakhtar want and the fact that they've given us more time to pay the installments. We're going to be talking about Ødegaard back to Real Madrid and the rumors, and also Joao Felix and the package that Atletico Madrid want and why he might be signing for Arsenal in 2023. The big question, I think, for me is who's going to be our first major signing in 2023? Who's going to be the big major signing that Arsenal bring in fast in 2023? Is it going to be Mykhaylo Mudryk? Is it going to be Joao Felix? We're going to be knowing in this video and throughout January. But of course, hit the like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Okay, so let's start off with Mykhaylo Mudryk. A couple of stories have actually been circulating around, especially on New Year's Day. I decided to take that day off because I felt like a lot was coming in and the transfer window was just open. So a lot of outlets, a lot of unreliable sources were going to give us information just because they want to take advantage of the fact that the window is officially open. So the window officially opened yesterday, and just as anticipated or predicted, there was a lot of trash going on. There was a lot of talk going on. Personal terms are great, this and that, and then to an extent that we saw Mykhaylo Mudryk, people posting that Mykhaylo Mudryk is actually in London, which is something that is not verified, something that is not true at the minute, right? But what I can confirm yesterday is according to the according to the Spot in Ukraine, a very reliable news outlet in Ukraine, they have confirmed that Mykhaylo Mudryk has now agreed a 5-year deal with Arsenal. Personal terms are now sealed. We do have an agreement on on salary. We do have an agreement on the length of contract. We do have an agreement on what the incentives in the boys' contracts is going to be. So we're just waiting for Shakhtar. Now, a 5-year deal. We do not know the real details of how much money is gonna get per week, how much money is gonna get per month, and all that. But what I can confirm, there's gonna be a 5-year deal. Probably is in most cases, it's always a 4-year deal plus 1 year, right? Plus 1 year to extend, which is always which actually makes it 5 years. So I think this is something that I never expected Arsenal to struggle with in terms of agreeing personal terms and contract issues with the representatives of Mykhaylo Mudryk and him as a player. They love him. And they understand that the player is willing to boycott Chelsea, boycott Manchester City, boycott Manchester United to sign for Arsenal. And that, for me, is the most important of all. You want to focus on a player that actually is focusing on you. So this was an easy piece of pie. 5 years. I think if we could do 6 years, 7 years, there's some players that I really feel 5 years is a very, very short period of time on their contracts. Take for instance, Martin Ødegaard, take for instance, Ben White. Those players, if I were to give them a contract, I want to give them 7-8-year massive deals. But I think those only exist in the Spanish La Liga, because in La Liga, I've had Saul Niguez sign a 7-year deal, and they're absolutely crazy, aren't they? But anyway, personal terms now. We can say personal terms between Arsenal and Mykhaylo Mudryk. As I reported earlier, by the way, are now sealed. We might have a few things to iron out, maybe on when the salary could be increased and a few things in his contract. But now Arsenal have that one sealed. It doesn't mean we have the deal in our hands. It doesn't mean we have actually won the race. It only means that Arsenal have done halfway of the work, and the other halfway, or the other half, and the other part of the work is actually, it actually remains pending. Now, what you have to understand is that this week Arsenal will also go in with a second bid to Shakhtar Donetsk. The bid is expected to be around 60 million euros plus 15 million euros in add-ons. That will take the deal to around 75 million euros. Shakhtar do not have a problem with that deal. The problem they have is with add-ons. They're saying that Arsenal should be paying 60 million euros if they want to, plus 35 million euros in add-ons. That takes the deal to around 95 million euros. So the problem and the disagreement, first and foremost, between Arsenal and Shakhtar is between how much money do we top up in terms of add-ons. Yes, the 60 sounds nice, because last time I was hearing them, fighting and blabbering in the media that whatever or whichever offer that goes below 50 million euros up front, or what you'd call in guaranteed payments, is actually not considerable. So they're thinking, if anyone comes in with 60 million euros, then we will definitely listen to the offer. But then there must be very, very strong add-ons. They do want those add-ons, actually, because they've said that Shakhtar is allowing enough time for Arsenal to pay these installments. So the installments are not going to be paid across 1 year or 2 years. They could be spread out in even 3 years. So they want 95 million euros. Arsenal are offering 75 million euros. We might find a median as quickly as possible. Our next game is Newcastle. Happy that they are coming at the Emirates Stadium. And listen, I got no problems with with deals coming in late, but with the January deal, in a situation where we are right now, it would be a lifesaver. An early January deal would be an absolute lifesaver, right? Especially Mykhaylo, Mudryk, or even Joao Felix that we're going to talk about in the next few minutes, right? But what I think is going to happen here is we have 75 million euros on the table, and we have an expectation of 95 million euros. Now, Arsenal have already expressed their dissatisfaction. They've said this is a little bit too much and ridiculous from Shakhtar, that they're asking for this much amount of money from us for a player who's barely made 10 appearances for Ukraine, for a player who has not played for 3 consecutive years at the top level. And you feel for them, and you really, really do understand, Arsenal, right? Because they're my club, I've got to back us. I've got to, stand behind my club. And I think Shakhtar will know that no one is going to give you such kind of an offer this time in January. No one's going to give you that money. No one. There are no clubs that are actually coming in to pay that that huge amount of money. Actually, thinking about it, we've talked about Chelsea, but then we've got to focus. Chelsea have signed Christopher Nkunku for a bargain, and the fact that they've signed Nkunku means they won't be signing Mykhaylo, Mudryk. They, of course, they do have Raheem Sterling, who I think is a really, really great player. If they add Christopher Nkunku to that, Kai Havertz to that, Mount, Pulisic, maybe Ziyech could leave, later. But I don't think Chelsea are going to spend 75 or 85 million euros on Mykhaylo, Mudryk when they have Nkunku waiting to join them anytime. Everything done. Here we go on that deal. So for me, Shakhtar will have to calm down from their positions. They have reduced 5 million euros, but that is not enough. They need to calm down. I think the median is going to be 80 million euros, and Mykhaylo Mudryk is going to be Arsenal's record signing. Yeah, I've called that in 2023 early. He's going to be our record signing. It's going to be 80 million euros. I don't think it should go above that. I don't think there is anywhere I would agree that the deal goes above that. And I feel like 80, we've paid a lot, but we are desperate. We are in a position where we don't have a lot of strength in terms of negotiation. So, okay, let's pay the 80 and walk away and seal the deal. Mykhaylo wants it to be done early, so let's seal the deal. He will miss Newcastle, but can he come in time? Can he come just in time for Spurs and Manchester United? 2 huge games, 2 winnable fixtures at the moment, right? Because United come at the Emirates and Spurs are struggling. So if you get a point against Newcastle, or by chance you beat Newcastle at home, and then Mykhaylo Mudryk comes in against Spurs, and maybe comes in the second half and, has an impact, and then he comes in against Manchester United and he has an impact, and we win those games, the title race could be more interesting. We're still in position 1 in 2023 January, okay? This is around 7 days to my birthday, but the best gift I have ever had on my birthday is Arsenal staying top. If it can do that, staying top, and then eventually winning the title, my year for me will be absolutely done. Apart from the part where I'll go to Rwanda and have fun, all right? And then we'll talk about Martin Ødegaard as well, because I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So Fabrizio Romano has come out and confirmed that there is no buyback clause or obligation or ask me first obligation clauses in Martin Ødegaard's contract. So there's been talk, because Martin Ødegaard has actually been doing very, very well, fantastically well. That's Madrid would love to buy him back, and they have a buyback clause, and they can trigger it anytime. They have around 50 million euros, a buyback clause of 40 million euros. Now that is bullshit. Arsenal did pay 40 million euros for this boy, and he's a full Arsenal player, without any obligations to go back, without any clauses to take it back to Real Madrid. Now, I think as a player, Martin Ødegaard has found what he wanted. He wanted a project, a manager, a team, and fans that can actually be behind him. Fans that were never gonna, try to, exploit him of his talent, but fans that were going to raise him and give him that platform to shine. And that's what Arsenal fans have done. When he came in, I still remember myself. I said, why not James Maddison? Why are we signing Martin Ødegaard? Why not James Maddison? But then Mykhaylo said, you've got to support him because he's the one abroad. And we said, all right, you've brought him. We're going to support him. We're going to back him. And what a player. Jesus Christ, what a player. Martin Ødegaard, for me, right now, in the Premier League, because Kevin De Bruyne is a sensation, all right? So I don't want to include Kevin De Bruyne in this conversation. Never, ever. But I think if I remove Kevin De Bruyne, he's got to be one of the best creators in the league right now. He's got to be one of the best creators. Arsenal's top scorer with 7 goals already. He's had around 11 goal involvements in his first 14 games at Arsenal this season. What a season! What a man! What a player! It doesn't surprise me that he's Arsenal captain. It doesn't surprise me that Mykhaylo actually decided that he will make him his main man in terms of leadership. He's a player. He's surely a younger head on older shoulders. To be honest. Now, okay, and how does that go? An older head on younger shoulders. Yeah, that's how it goes. So for me, I love him. I just love him. And to be honest, there is no way back for Madrid. They've made a howler of that deal. How do you sell him for 34 million pounds? How do you do that? That is the worst business Madrid will ever do in their lives. Like, they've sold Ozil to us for 40 million, and that's all right. And Martin Ødegaard, they've really, really made a howler of that. Now, let's talk about Joao Felix for a minute, because as well, there is a lot of talk on Joao Felix. The first thing is that Atletico Madrid are demanding a fee in excess of 20 million euros, a package in excess of 20 million euros to let the player go. Now, what I understand is that, according to the Ghana blog, Arsenal are trying to sign Joao Felix the same way we signed Martin Ødegaard. We're trying to get him on a loan deal, try to assess him, see if he can actually fit in, and then eventually sign him in the summer. The deal will not have an obligation to buy. Atletico Madrid don't have any problems, don't have any pressures with whether there is an obligation to buy or not. So they're okay with that. They're all right with that. The problem is the money. And Arsenal saying, if the money can come down a little bit, we will sign your man. We will get your player out of here because we know you two have, you two have really, really big, big issues. And what I don't understand, because I want to do this deal, like I want to do a full video about this deal. What I don't understand about ATM is a player wants to leave and you want him to leave. And a club is willing to pay his whole wages. What is the excess of what is the huge loan fee for? What are they trying to achieve? Are they trying to block the move? Are they trying to be smart? Are they trying to be cunning? I just don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. There are clubs that are willing to pay whatever amounts you have for the player in terms of salary. Let him go. When he comes back in the summer, you can discuss, you can discuss how to sell him and how to do whatever. But there is also talk that Manchester United had a 130 million bid rejected last summer. So I don't know how that's going to work, but let's wait and see, okay? Because Ten Hag surely understands this boy. He surely knows him. I'll speak to you in the next one, and I hope we can do this and achieve the biggest of things in 2022.